did beat down the defending, not really beat down, but they did beat the defending Super Bowl champions. They finally dethroned the unbeaten Kansas City Chiefs, right? The Bills moved to 9-2 on the season, and their only losses are coming to back-to-back games in Week 4 and Week 5 versus the Ravens and the Houston Texans, two really, really good teams in the AFC. And when you look at the Buffalo Bills, guys, we have not really been putting them in that Super Bowl conversation. When we say, yeah, the Buffalo Bills are good, but yeah, they really haven't played nobody yet, right? Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are one of the hottest teams in the NFL, but yeah, they really haven't played nobody yet. Now the Buffalo Bills have, quote, played somebody. Now, can we finally put the Buffalo Bills and Super Bowl in the same sentence? Can we start talking about Bills Mafia Super Bowl bound? And when we look at Bills Mafia, guys, when we look at the Buffalo Bills, their biggest knock for the Buffalo Bills all season is they haven't played anybody, right? They've had kind of a cupcake of a schedule. You can admit it one way or the other, but the simple fact of the matter is they've only played 3 playoff teams so far this season, and they lost to 2 of them. They lost to the Ravens, got beat down by the Ravens, humiliated by the Ravens in week number 4, and they followed up by week 5 getting beat by the Houston Texans when Josh Allen only had like 150 yards passing. It was tough. And their third playoff team that they finally played was the Kansas City Chiefs at home, and they did beat them. So they are 1-2 versus playoff teams this season. Now, do not get it twisted. The Buffalo Bills are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Don't get it twisted. The Buffalo Bills have won 6 games in a row. And don't get it twisted, they will be tested when they play the Patriots twice and the Jets. I'm just kidding. But they do play the Rams and the 49ers and the Lions in the upcoming 3 weeks here. So they will be kind of tested a little bit going into the playoffs. Now, Super Bowl and Buffalo Bills have been a myth as long as I can remember, right? I was still a baby when the Buffalo Bills were at their when they're at their highlights, right? Making it to 4 straight Super Bowls. I've seen the 4 falls thing on 30 for 30 and like all that stuff. I know they used to be good, but ever since then, Buffalo Bills playoff Super Bowl have been like oil and like water. They don't mix. The Buffalo Bills guys are a good team. I want to put emphasis on that. They are a good team. They are a hot team. 6 wins in a row is tough in the NFL. Hell, 3 wins in a row is tough in the NFL. They're playing good football. They're a hot team. Josh Allen is playing at an MVP level. Hell, Josh Allen proved that he is the MVP of the NFL last night. I understand he's only 7th in passing for 2,543 yards. I understand he's only ranked 6th in the NFL with just 18 touchdowns. But the point of the matter is, guys, the Buffalo Bills are not Super Bowl ready. The Buffalo Bills are not Super Bowl ready. We have been on this, they are a good team, but we have not been able to gauge them yet, right? We really have not been able to gauge the Buffalo Bills all season long. Yeah, they're beating bad teams. They're supposed to beat bad teams. But anytime a good team steps up, they shit the bed. Texans, Ravens. Last night was the first time that they've actually stepped up and played a complete game versus a good team. But on the flip side of that coin, who hasn't played good against the Kansas City Chiefs? Who has not given the Kansas City Chiefs their best shot week after week after week, right? It is a bad loss to the Ravens, a bad loss to the Texans, and when you look at the previous 2 weeks, they tried to give it away to the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins didn't want to take it, but damn it, the Buffalo Bills tried to give it to them, and then they tried to give it away to the Indianapolis Colts too. But Joe Flacco was like, I'm good. They did finally step up for the Kansas City Chiefs. They did finally step up and beat the reigning Super Bowl champions in the Kansas City Chiefs. So I am saying no. We cannot put the Buffalo Bills in that Super Bowl conversation yet, but they're definitely on their way. They're definitely on their way. If they can beat a team like the 49ers, I understand the 49ers are a down team, but they're still a good team. They got a good defense. Their offense is pretty good. It is going to test that defense, which I think that's the weak point of the Buffalo Bills. So I cannot put them in the Super Bowl conversation yet, but it is very, very close, right? It is very, very close. So guys, in the comments below, let me ask you this question. Are the Buffalo Bills a Super Bowl contender? Can you see the Buffalo Bills making it into the Super Bowl this 2024 NFL season? I'm saying no, But what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying out there? Da-da-da-dum. Let's jump over here into the comments. Edwin Butler says Bills Lions Super Bowl. He says, let me say it again. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Bills versus Lions Super Bowl. So he's saying 100% the Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. Edwin, I still love your fandom. Actually, Edwin, I remember when we broke down the Buffalo Bills back in July. Didn't you have them like as a 13-14 win team? You were high on your Buffalo Bills all season long, and you've been spot on. You've been spot on for them 100%. John says, F the Chargers, ringless posers. Much like the Buffalo Bills. Ringless posers as well. Edwin also says, remember the thing about the is y'all think Bills won't win that division. We'll go 4-2 in the final stretch, maybe 5-1 with the loss to the Niners and Detroit. So the Buffalo Bills, so they will be on a very, very hot streak going into the playoffs, right? They will be on maybe let's say 4 to 5 game winning streak, right? One of the issues that I have about the Buffalo Bills is that when you look at the roster, right, and you look the way they played last night, if they continue to play the way they did last night, game after game, week after week, into the playoffs, right, they're definitely going to the Super Bowl 100%. 100%. They played a flawless game last night, right? They fought fire with fire, and they shut down the Chiefs' offense, and Josh Allen was just the best person on the field, hands hands down. But there's also a such thing, Edwin, and rest of the Buffalo Bills Mafia out there, is peaking too early. There is such thing as you peaked too early. And I wonder if this Week 11 game was the Buffalo Bills' Super Bowl. I wonder if this Week 11 game, they're like, we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It's time to chill. Because let's just be honest. Since June or July, when the schedules came out, actually they came back like May. But once the schedules came out, and we saw this Week 11 game, Chiefs versus Bills, every Bills Mafia person, every media person, everybody in the NFL had this game circled. Like, hey, this is the game that's going to prove it, right? Buffalo Bills won it. They did win. They pretty much smacked the Kansas City Chiefs around. Let's just be honest. But was that their Super Bowl? Was this the peak of the Buffalo Bills season? That's the real question. Can they come back and can they repeat this, right? Can they repeat this when they play the 49ers next week? I believe it's Sunday Night Football, right? And then they play the Rams. Can they repeat that? And then they play the Detroit Lions. Then they end the season with the Patriots, Jets, Patriots. Can they continue to ascend up, or is this their peak? That's the big question, right? That is the big question. James Frank says, how many interceptions does Josh Allen have this season? I think he only has 5. I think he has 4 or 5. So he is definitely not turnover Josh Allen by any stretch of the imagination. He is playing good football. He's playing MVP level football. Let's just be honest. And Carson answered that. Said, thanks, Carson. Thank you for that. Edwin says, Ravens was the only team we got smoked. Texans should have been a win, but hey, we're going to be okay. Still lost to the Texans. As Laura says earlier, a win is a win is a win. Have the Buffalo Bills peak too early? That's the real question. Was this Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills Week 11? That could be it. Jim says it was the first game the Chiefs lost since 2023 Christmas Day. And Jim, you know that day very, very well, don't you? Because that was the day that the world was ending for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was the day that the Raiders Nation was on the rise and the Kansas City Chiefs were descending. You are beginning your descent, right? But hey, look what happened. Look what happened. My man Derek's in the chat. What's up, Derek? Fellow Las Vegas Raiders fan. He said, but did the Bills use the best plays? Because I don't think KC did. Plays or not, right? Plays or not. So let's talk about this game, because I think the Kansas City Chiefs were simply out-coached in this game. As hard as that is to come out of my mouth, I think Sean McDermott out-coached Andy Reid Sunday afternoon. I think Bills Mafia came in there with a plan, with a game plan, and they're going to execute that game plan to the fullest. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs the previous week, Kareem Hunt, 20 carries, 22 carries, 25 carries, right? They were running the piss out of the ball over and over and over again. When you look at this game, Kareem Hunt, 12 carries. What? So you're telling me for the previous 9 games, we've been running the crap out of the ball, 20 plus carries for one guy, and now all of a sudden, 13 carries for Kareem Hunt? We're not the Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs fans. We are not Mr. I'm going to change everything that I've done all season long just to play one game. Like, no, stop it. The Buffalo Bills outcoached the Kansas City Chiefs last night. The Kansas City Chiefs got outcoached by the Buffalo Bills last night. And I never thought I was going to say that about a Sean McDermott coach team. But the Buffalo Bills outplayed them, got outcoached, and the simple fact of the matter is, Derek, the Buffalo Bills smacked Kansas City Chiefs in the mouth. In the mouth. They smacked them. Carson says Buffalo Bills are contenders. They're still missing Molino, a Pro Bowl linebacker. They were just banged up against the Chiefs. They were also banged up against the Chiefs, and they could get better, right? Man, I love me some James Cook, though. I love me some James Cook. James Cook is a freaking beast. James says no, they will not make the Super Bowl. They will not make the Super Bowl, says James Chamberlain. And I agree. Jim Powell says Allen isn't better than the O-line. Also, Jones, cheaters? No. One face mask does not make you a cheater. Ref should have called it. Played in the gray area. James says Allen also threw several 50 balls, and they got him. To think they can always catch those makes it no Super Bowl is nonsense. Sometimes 50-50 balls go your way. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles last season, right? A lot of 50-50 balls went their way the first 11, 12 games of the season. Last 6, what happened? It just, like, it is what it is. And James, I think you are correct. If you are banking on the 50-50 ball, you are not going to make the Super Bowl. But this is the first game that I've seen for the Buffalo Bills that Josh Allen did put up a lot more 50-50 balls than usual. Josh Allen has been taking care of the ball most of the season. With the 5 interceptions that he has been taking care of the ball most of the season. So this might kind of be an outlier game, hopefully, for Bills Mafia. Hopefully this is not a prequel of the future, or whatever you want to say, foreshadowing of the future. Hopefully this is not it. But hey, it is what it is. James Frank says, I'm going to say yes. Absolutely, they could go to the big show. And honestly, James, Browns fan, I am sorry for your loss on Sunday yet again. First round pick pending, but hey, it is what it is. The AFC, honestly, guys, is so convoluted, right? If I were to put 6 teams in a hat right now, being the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans. You can even put the LA Chargers there. You can even put the Broncos in there if you want. If you draw the names out of those hats, and like you said, boom, LA Chargers have the best chance of making the Super Bowl. There could be an argument for and against it, right? Pick out again, Kansas City Chiefs. There could be an argument for and against it. What I'm trying to say is that the AFC is so evenly paired from top to bottom that for me to realistically say that the Buffalo Bills do not have a shot at all, that is talking strictly out of your butt, right? Because the AFC is so evenly paired. If the matchups come out just right, and the Buffalo Bills do not play the Steelers or the Ravens in the first round, they could easily beat, probably not easily, but they should beat the Chargers and or Broncos and or whoever else is that wild card, minus the Steelers or the Ravens. So if they get that second or third seed, they should be able to win that wild card game, right? And then you're looking at a potential 3 matchup. Can they beat the third team, as in the Houston Texans? Yeah, I mean, it is all about pairing, right? So, yes, they absolutely do have a chance. I'm just talking on my butt. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be realistically say I'm talking out of my butt, and I apologize for that. Carson says, maybe we saw yesterday just a glimpse of what Buffalo does to Kansas City in the playoffs. Potentially, but also Carson, history, the last 5 years, the last 5 games, right? The Buffalo Bills averaged 20 points in the regular season versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs averaged like 24 points per game versus the Buffalo Bills. It's 24 for the Buffalo Bills, 20 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, when the playoffs roll around, the Buffalo Bills do hire a more average of 28 points per game versus Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, but the Chiefs average 35 points per game in the playoffs. So, is it a prequel? Maybe, but probably not. Because Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, you can never count them out. Let's just be honest. James says, you think Reid was just wanting me to get burger during the game? Maybe. I mean, everybody gets hungry. Nobody wants to admit that the Bears cared way more about this game than the Chiefs did. Andy knows this game is just another mid-season game, and that's exactly it, James. James, I think you nailed the comment of the day. I think you nailed the game in general, right? Just like the Las Vegas Raiders game Christmas Day last season, this was the end-all be-guy mid-season Super Bowl game for the Buffalo Bills. Now, Josh Allen is saying all the right things during post-game. It's just another game. And he said, I think the last time I checked, 9 wins isn't going to get you into the playoffs. So Josh Allen is saying the right things. He's saying the right things to appease the media, right? But truth be told, James, you are right. This was a lose-lose situation for the Buffalo Bills, right? I posted this in the AFC East Trash Talk group, and people were at my necks about it. And let me explain this to you. The Buffalo Bills were supposed to win this game, right? They were a 2.5-point favorite going into this game. This is a home game for the Buffalo Bills. This was a must-win game for them 100%. If they win this game, yeah, you were supposed to, right? Yeah, you are probably front runners to get a top 2 seed in the AFC, but you're also supposed to be there, right? And if they were to lose this game, you guys haven't played nobody, and I hate to say I told you so, you guys aren't very good. The Buffalo Bills were in a lose-lose situation. Now, the way that they beat the Kansas City Chiefs definitely put them up on this higher tier. Definitely put them up as the bullseye. Definitely put them as a team that you're like, right? The Buffalo Bills now have the bullseye on their back, 100%. This was their Super Bowl. And Andy Reid reminds me of Bill Belichick so much. Because when you look at past Patriots games, the Patriots knew they were going to make the playoffs. Week 7, week 8, week 12, it doesn't matter. They knew they were going to make the playoffs. When they knew they were going to play a potential playoff team, what are you going to get from Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? A vanilla offense, a vanilla defense. And honestly, the Kansas City Chiefs looked like they had a very vanilla defense and a very vanilla offense out there. So maybe, James, you might be on the point, but I think you nailed the comment today. I think the comment of the day so far goes to James 100%. 100%. Laura says the better coach won the game yesterday. As much as I like KC, it happened. Way to go, Bills. Sean McDermott definitely had balls of steel going for the 4th and 2. I do. James says, out-coach, or did Andy outsmart them for the long haul? And James, I am glad you're here because you are making me think of Bill Belichick of the past, right? Vanilla defense, vanilla offense. We know we're going to play these guys in the playoffs. Why let them see our full strength, right? That's probably why Isaiah Pacheco did not play. I just want to point that out. Point that out there. Jim Powell says Hunt was getting stuffed, and Gray had 2 tutties on his own. Should have been a wash. Just because Kareem Hunt is getting stuffed, you still don't give him the ball. Come on, you give him the ball. Man's been running 20, 30 times a game. Let it go. Carson says, I think James is just a hater because he's a Dolphins fan. Not wrong. And James says, I call it how I see it. KC mailed it in. They did. Carson Wynn says 9 wins will get you into the playoffs in the AFC East. Actually, probably 6 wins will get you in the playoffs in the AFC East. Let's just be honest. James Frank says, my Browns are taking for that number 1 pick again. To mess it up, I take Jackson Dart. Mark D